One. And boom, ladies and gentlemen, we are live once again through the power of the internet. And today we are joined by someone more royal than the Queen. Someone could argue that he might even be prestigious. And he goes by the name of PrestigeIsKey. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. I put a lot of thought into that intro.
I could tell.
And it was a little bit like last second I just had to wing it because I was like royal, but I was like, how do I wrap prestige in here? I tried it. I don't know. Anyways,
That totally made sense, though.
yeah,
Awesome.
I thought it was the best for what I could do. So yeah, what's up with you, dude? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We are at a loss right now, though.
What happened?
Nothing happened. That's the problem.
That is the problem. And I'll tell you what, we are in dry lands right now. Super dry.
It is parched out here. The deserts of no DLC 3 is what we're talking about.
I need a drink of that DLC. I need to dip my toe into that DLC.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like we almost bring it upon ourselves as a community. We like hype ourselves up so much for DLC, and then when we don't get it, we're just like, no.
Super disappointed.
Yeah, because like 2 weeks ago, people were starting to talk about it, like, oh, maybe it'll be today, and I was like, nah, no way. And then last week, I was like, well, we might get it, but I'm not gonna like plan that my video for the day is gonna be around that. And
Right.
then this week, it's like, okay, it's got to be this week.
And I think that's another thing too that like our viewers, they don't really grasp that when you're a content creator at the level that you are, it's like we do so much content and we think of so many ideas, but even when that smallest drop of DLC footage or news or something like that comes along, that's big for us. Not only
Yeah.
from a content side, but because it's something new and we get to speculate and we get to make ideas and think of new ideas and things. And especially from the zombies point of view, it gets super crazy because you think of all the story behind it and the lore. But that's something that I'm really missing at this point is just being able to speculate again. And that's why I'm excited for, Infinite Warfare news and stuff like that. But Black Ops 3 is where it's at right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a spark for the community. Like even when we're speculating that something's gonna drop that day, you just get to the point where everyone's on Twitter, kind of like going back and forth with each other and like just making tweets about it. And there's guys like Noah who are just like trolling people, dropping like Rickrolled videos and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like exciting for the community, for everybody, because we're just waiting and we're hoping to see something. And then when you get that content, it's just like that spark for everyone. Whereas right now, I mean, everyone is just doing such random content, at least on the zombie side of things. And I was saying before we started this, it's so cool, like to have someone who's more of like a multiplayer guy because it's like the balance, right? Like all I see is like zombies. I don't even like look at the multiplayer. Like when the trailer
Right.
drops, I just skip right to the zombie section. But just for the whole game, like it's so cool just to see that huge like it just ignites and everyone goes crazy and it's just like, all right, here we are.
That's a good thing about having a dry spell, though, because once it does ignite, it's kind of like a wildfire and it just keeps spreading. But like you were saying, seeing it from like a multiplayer point of view, if you're somebody that plays multiplayer every single day like I do, it does get really dry really fast because you have 4 maps that you rotate through. I can only imagine how dry it gets for the zombies community once it like starts, all the Easter eggs are found, and once people start to find all the little things and the hidden codes and stuff, and all once those are all solved, it's like, where do you go from there? And with such a long stretch in between DLC at this point, it's like, holy crap, we need something to go off of, you know?
I don't know. I almost feel like it would be harder for multiplayer guys. Like I look at your side of things because with zombies you can kind of go back and there's like a really big element of nostalgia there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can go back to the older games, I feel, more easily than for a multiplayer guy to go back. But yeah, it's a weird time right now. But like you
Yeah.
said, it's a good time because I think number one is especially with zombies where it's like a not regular thing. Like with multiplayer, you're kind of guaranteed every year there's going to be a new multiplayer, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how good it's going to be, but it's going to be there. with zombies, it's kind of like touch and go, right? You know, we get
Right.
Treyarch and we know that's going to be good, but then, you know, you don't know if the next zombies is going to be good. So there's like this real element of just like this precious amount of content that you get.
And you got to savor every bit of it.
Yes,
And
exactly.
if you let it go and it's not savored enough, then it's like, no. But that brings back that nostalgia factor that you were just talking about. I mean, I guess the way that I'm looking at it right now is I think a lot of people were expecting the trailer at least a couple of weeks ago because last year, for example, with Advanced Warfare, we had the DLC release early June. So it's like right now we're kind of like, what's going on? But if you think about it even further back in the day, they're kind of following the same pattern that Black Ops 2 had.
Yeah, it's been...
So,
well, I don't think at this point the DLC is going to drop July 5th now. It's just with the trailer not coming out, it just doesn't seem logical. Mm-hmm. But up to now, like, yeah, like DLC 1, they're like right on the ball, like the exact same like week. DLC 2, exact same thing. I remember DLC 2 for Black Ops 2 was like April 16th, and I think we were April 19th.
Yeah.
And if they had it done July 5th, I know DLC 3 was July 1st. So, or July 2nd maybe. So like, you know, they're following the same pattern for sure. But now it seemed like it's going to get a little bit skewed because with COD XP, they said that the DLC won't, like, if you go to COD XP, you'll be the first to play DLC 4. So
yeah, well, here's another thing too, and a lot of people brought it up yesterday. You know, on Tuesday when the DLC wasn't coming out, even yesterday too on Thursday, because there was a lot of rumors that it was going to pop out the trailer. A lot of people were saying, you know, and directing my attention to that XP trailer that came out, and it says the next installment of Call of Duty DLC, and people are trying to say that DLC 3 is going to be revealed and playable at XP, but that doesn't make any sense because you have to remember that there's still a month in between for the Xbox users to get in, the PC users. So how would that even work at that point? That's confusing.
Like just from like thinking about that as like a developer standpoint, that is like impossible. There's no way they would do that.
No.
Like there's no way they wouldn't release any content all summer.
Right.
Because that's like the best time for them to drop DLC because everyone's off school and they want new content.
I feel like one of the best things they could do at this point, because they did give us, on the multiplayer side of things at least, they did give us the Blackjack Specialist, which was really cool. They gave us the contracts, which is also cool. But there's only a small amount of time that stays cool. I think what they need to do is take a page out of Sledgehammer's book and give another free DLC update where it's an actual weapon like they did with the M1 Irons. That was some of the funnest times. Funnest, is that even a word? That was some of the best times we had with Advanced Warfare because once that weapon came out, it was free to everybody. Everybody had it immediately. Everybody was running around like it was the Wild West. It was awesome. I mean, if they did something like that again, that would be perfect and bring a lot of people back to the game to play. But, you know, they might not do that. They probably really won't.
No, I wouldn't imagine. But see, yeah, you guys, the multiplayer... You guys have been getting like juiced with all these like little drops of like little sprinkles of content, you know, like the blackjack,
little sprinkle on the cupcake there.
Yeah, I saw that shotgun. I think you put it on Twitter, and it's like a sniper shotgun, like it's like goes like all the way across the map. I'm like, man, that's so cool.
That's so good. I love that shotgun, but I don't love that they put it in the supply drops, and that's a controversial thing right now in the multiplayer community at least, and that's a really bad thing as a content creator. And I've said this directly to them when we go to these, you know, studio tours and stuff. I said it directly to them. Putting the weapons in supply drops is a terrible idea, not only for the player base, but also for content creators, because I don't buy COD points. And I'll say that right now. I don't. I mean, I did at one point, and I saw that they just weren't worth it. But if you don't have the weapon, you don't have access to the weapon, it's like you can't make content on it. And it really does make me feel left out because you have another content creator that's willing to drop $200 to get the weapon. And it's like, wow, that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
So I really wish that they wouldn't have put these things in supply drops. And that's kind of going to be the ongoing argument because I guarantee after seeing the quarterly reviews of the profits that they made with Black Ops 3 so far and supply drops in general, they're definitely going to be there. As many people that are there that aren't buying the supply drops, there's twice as many that are, which is just a sad thing to think about.
And that's the thing, is it's where the money is, right? People
Right.
are gonna pay for it, and I know there was so much like black market, blackout and stuff, but
Yeah.
look, people are gonna pay for it, and it's not something you can really fight if the money's there. I don't know though, because I feel like I like that idea of that they just drop the free weapon for everybody. Like that would be sweet.
At least it was just one, you know?
Yeah, just something to throw out there. And like for zombies right now, man, we have not had anything since DLC 2 dropped. We like nothing. Like there was for, you know how DLC season pass holders, they got like the free weapon bribe and some COD points, I think, and like 10 liquid diviniums. That's like the only thing we've seen since DLC 2 dropped.
You would think they'd drop more Gobblegum or something.
Yeah, and
Even though that's kind of the same way that we were just discussing the supply drops.
Yeah, well, Gobblegum is a weirder thing, because you don't. Well, I guess the argument against what I was about to say, you don't need Gobblegum to do well in zombies.
Right.
You don't need the DLC guns to do good in multiplayer. But with zombies, it's kind of a weird thing, because it just allows you to get stuff that you can already get easier. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's things that give you like a drop. So it's like, oh, I really could use an insta-kill right now. Drop your insta-kill. And then, you know, stuff like that. But the biggest problem I see from like the zombie side is perkaholic. Because if you're going for a high round attempt, you basically need perkaholic. Like it's silly not to use it. And
Yeah, and unless you're like completing the Easter egg by yourself and get awarded all that stuff.
yeah.
If that's even still available in the newer maps, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you could still get it from that, but it is such a hassle, right?
Right, especially in the newest map. Like it beats me how
Tell
people are
me
able to
about it.
do that. Like it just seems like a chore. And I just remember back in the day when they were announcing how there would be so much replay value with zombies, which there is, don't get me wrong. But it seems like they could have done like a shortcut. Like once you complete the Easter egg once, then you don't have to do a certain step again. Or, you know, maybe you could turn on the options to where you don't have to do those steps and you would have the access to that stuff. Like, but then it would kind of mess up the leaderboard stuff, you know? And I know that that's a
Yeah.
big thing too.
And that's the thing. There's so many arguments to be made for it and against it. And, you know, it's like, because that's the thing, is like if you can do the Easter egg once, you can do it multiple times. So like, why
Right.
should you have to do it every time you just want to go for a high round attempt, when you basically have to do the Easter egg to go for that high round attempt? Like that's one argument. But the other side, someone could say, is, well, that's how they made the map, and if you didn't have to do the Easter egg to go for a high round attempt, it'd be too easy. So,
True.
right, it's a weird balance there, right? And like, what side is right? I don't know.
It's a really confusing time right now when there isn't anything to do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you've already done it so many times. Like I really don't want to do it again, but I kind of have to.
Yeah.
And I even remember Milo, Mr. Waffle Waffles, he was talking about it. He was saying, I really like this map, but I don't like the fact that it's a chore every time I want to play it to get set up.
Yeah.
And it's never really
exactly.
been that way. I remember like with World at War, for example, the Easter eggs were so simple. I mean, the Easter eggs that were there, but it's like you could do these things to earn something really quick. And then it's like, okay, I'll just play now. But now it's like, there's so much depth to it, which is great for content. I mean, don't get me wrong. But after you've done it so many times, it's like, wow, this is really starting to take a toll on me.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, there needs to be a somewhat of a balance, that to do like some steps, yes, like, you know, they integrate a step that like you need to do the Easter egg to get like a gameplay step, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was really poorly explained. But like in Mob of the Dead, for example, you have to do a certain step. You have to find 5 blue skulls to do the Easter egg. But if you do that step, you actually get a free weapon. You get the free Blundergat. So in that sense, it's like the Easter egg is kind of integrated into the gameplay. But if you go too far with that, and that's why I think Zetsubo no Shima is, you have to do basically, you have to do every single Easter egg step if you really want to go all the way in on gameplay.
I was actually just talking about this with my friend yesterday, and we were talking about the KT4
Yeah.
and how if you're playing with a team of 4, and even if it's with a team of 4 that knows what they're doing, it's still a hassle to get that upgrade.
Yeah.
But if you're playing with randoms, it's like it will never happen. If you're playing with three other randoms, it won't ever happen.
I feel so bad for people that even try. I can't even imagine what that must be like. The only people I play with are like, you know, experts on the game.
I mean, I guess the question to you would be, would you rather have the KT4, like, let's say it was restricted to doing some sort of Easter egg step to upgrade it while playing solo, but would you rather have it to where you can upgrade it from the mystery box if you're playing with 4 other people?
See, I don't know about that either.
That's a good question, I think, because there's so much hassle to it, especially when you're playing with randoms, because you know that people sometimes don't follow the steps, don't know what they're doing. A lot of people that play zombies just want to play until they die.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, though, that would love to play with 3 other players, even if going for a high round attempt, but would still like to have access to some of these weapons. Yeah. That's where there's a conflict of interest, you know?
Yeah. I think I remember Syndicate made a video a while ago basically saying, like, there should be a really, really low chance of getting these weapons from the box so that it's not like normal wonder weapons, how they used to be, because, you know, they're so like OP and stuff, but there should be a really low chance that you can get it just for those people that want to get it and, you know, they don't have a team to like go crazy and do it all with.
I remember that video too.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Sitting there talking. He made a lot of really good points, a lot of valid points about zombies too and how it's changed.
Yeah, and I feel like people sometimes criticize that as like, oh, it's changed so much, and the classic argument I hear is, I miss the old days of like Keenard or Totem when it was really basic. But if zombies stayed as basic as Keenard or Totem, it wouldn't be fun anymore. Like,
right.
I get that it needs to have some of the old simplicity that it used to have, and people really appreciate that nostalgia. But, you know, it's with any part of Call of Duty. If it never evolved, it wouldn't be good. You know, if we were still playing Call of Duty 4 to this day, people will be pretty tired of Call of Duty.
That kind of brings in the age-old argument for multiplayer as well. Like, we always wanted it to stay, or we always liked how it was with like COD 4, World at War multiplayer, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, boots on the ground. People always say, I want boots on the ground back. I want it to come back. But in the time that we were, and at that portion, if you were part of that community when it was like growing and people were starting to play the game, you would know that the biggest argument was, why is this a copy and paste? Why is this the same every year? And now that we have change, people are so upset over it. And there's so many people that are upset when they weren't there to begin with to see that it did, in fact, need a change. So
that
I mean,
is such a good point.
It's like when I try to say that, I just get accused of the most funny things. But it's true though. Like when you played COD 4, sure, those memories were great. The game was awesome, but that was for that game.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
even
I take
now,
it you've been playing for a long time. I take it.
Oh, I've been playing multiplayer forever. Like I've been here since the beginning. You know, it's kind of funny to look back on it now. Like even doing the whole going to Infinity Ward and stuff. Like I've been doing that since before T Martin and Chaos Silencer and all those other YouTubers. Like
really?
Yeah, I've been doing it since I've had
so
maybe
cool.
like 200 subscribers.
Oh my God, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, when people tell me, oh, you know, how you get to do that, a lot of people just say, oh, it's because he's got a big YouTube channel, but it was never the case.
Yeah, trust me, the YouTube channel is like, it's not like, it's more like who you know than the size of your channel. It
was so strange though too, because I didn't know anybody. The fact that I still remember it vividly to this day. JD 2020 was the community manager, and I was playing the heck out of Shino Numa, and nice. DLC trailers were coming around, and I started to give like my feedback to them on Twitter. And one day Robert Bowling just DM'd me out of nowhere, like didn't have more than 100 followers, and he asked me to come to LA. And I thought that was a trick. I thought it was a prank. I thought he was trolling me. And I decided to do it, and here we are today. Like, it's literally not even about who you know or like anything like that. It's all about attitude. Like, if you have a general love for something and you want to see it improve, you'll give those, you know, the feedback to the people that mean most to the game. So I would always talk to the devs on Twitter. I was always telling them my feedback and what I would think. And I still to this day feel that love, but am I scared for the future of Call of Duty? Yes, I really am. It doesn't seem like Call of Duty anymore, but like you were saying, as things evolve over time, you definitely need to try to adapt to it. And just as the argument with the supply drops, where there's just as many people not playing it, there are just as many people discovering Call of Duty for the first time. And that's
what
crazy.
always blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because my mindset is like, if you didn't discover Call of Duty before like Modern Warfare 2, it's like like you're new to the scene. But now it's like, if you discovered it during Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 2, like you're like kind of like an old school COD player now, which is weird.
It's
Because
crazy.
back in the day, like when Black Ops 1 came out, it was like all like, oh, I've been playing since COD 4, I'm such an OG. But now it's like, if you've been playing before Ghost, you're an OG. It's weird.
This is so crazy to say too, and I know that people are going to hate me for saying this, but I loved Advanced Warfare multiplayer. Like, that was the first game to actually make a change to the movement system.
Yeah.
And it was such a ballsy move, and I didn't expect it, and that's why I loved it. And you have to think, we were coming off of Call of Duty Ghosts. I enjoyed Ghosts multiplayer until I hit 10th Prestige, and then it kind of got boring, but I didn't really have a big problem with it. But that general love for the game actually reflected directly in my content. Advanced Warfare was the game that put me on the map. Like, that game changed the way that I do content to this day. And I will always be thankful to that game because it was just so different and it was so out of the ordinary, and it just brought so much unique content to my channel, and that was definitely seen by people that subscribed during that portion. But
Right.
I loved that game. I wouldn't say that the movement was perfect. It was different, but I definitely would say that Black Ops 3 movement perfected what Sledgehammer couldn't. Like, Treyarch did a good job on that.
From my limited expertise in multiplayer, Advanced Warfare was like too jumpy to me.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
It was super jumpy, but I was an old school Halo player.
Oh,
So,
there
like,
you go. You're golden. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, because the way I saw it is, it felt like with Advanced Warfare, the gun was not like the primary thing of engagement. It felt like if you got into a gunfight, you could hop up and like almost like, juke the guy out. And,
Oh, yeah.
If his accuracy wasn't perfect, he'd miss you. Whereas in Black Ops 3, it's still down to your ability to aim, right? Like, if a guy comes, you can't really jump out of the way. It's based around your gun, and the movement, like, it speeds up the game. I really like it. And I haven't played a ton of Black Ops 3, like, across all my platforms. I'm probably enough to be like first Prestige, but well, actually no, I guess I have Dark Matter, so
Oh, there you go. If you have Dark
Yeah.
Matter, you've definitely been playing it enough.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't Prestige yet, but I'm like level 55 or whatever. So anyways, I don't know. I really, really love Black Ops 3 multiplayer. I don't know about you, but
Oh, dude, I love it.
yeah.
I mean,
What- Oh, go ahead.
it's like, okay, so the whole advanced movement in Advanced Warfare, it is what it is. It wasn't perfect, and I will be the first to admit that. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people thought that it was really bad, a game that shouldn't have belonged in the Call of Duty franchise, and that's definitely okay to think. But it definitely did put the footprint down for what the future of Call of Duty was. And like I was saying before, Treyarch took that and they completely ran with it, and they totally did what Sledgehammer couldn't do. And I don't know if it was like time restraints or what, or being able to make it perfected on their end, but Treyarch did what they couldn't do, and they made it good. And
Yeah,
I feel comfortable with the movement. I'm just saying, and if it's the same movement in Infinite Warfare multiplayer, that's fine with me. I'm just scared of the zero gravity.
Yeah, that's something different all entirely.
Yeah, and I don't think they
Ah.
would do that. I can't see them doing that. In the campaign, yes, but the multiplayer, absolutely not.
Definitely campaign, right? And
Yeah.
that is the problem with all these like trailer reveals and stuff, is people freak out because all we see is like as the campaign trailer, and then they think
Right.
that's going to be the entire game. No, there's still multiplayer to be revealed. There's still zombies to be revealed, and
Oh,
all
yeah,
we've seen
zombies.
is campaign. So
That was a really shocking thing. I did not expect them to announce a third game mode.
that was
That was
that
really
was
early.
big. That was really big. Honestly, I thought they were going to do Extinction again.
It would have been so perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in space now. We can fight them on their home turf. Let's just say that.
That would have been sick.
I didn't have a problem with Extinction, especially when they added the teeth system.
Yes,
It
dude.
really was awesome after that.
Oh, I was an extinction. Like I went so hard on that because I didn't have any zombies to play. So yeah, once they did teeth bed, I'd play like every single day, just grinding to get that stuff.
I loved
And
playing solo and like using the relics and making it
yeah,
super hard, but then you
yeah,
like earn more teeth and it was fun.
yeah, dude. I and the heyday of that, I had a blast. I had like a team. We'd roll every single DLC. Like we just went hard on it. It was great.
I
Dang.
I really am interested though in seeing what Infinite Warfare has for zombies and what Infinity Ward's going to do, because from that little, I guess you would say the film reel that they teased, that, I mean, it looked really cartoony, you know?
I don't even know what you're talking about. I have not even
Really?
seen this. What?
Yeah, they did.
No.
Yeah, let me fill you in, dude. They did a live stream and they talked specifically about zombies at one portion, and they teased a little film reel. I don't know if you could search it up and find it, but I'm sure it's online. But they teased a film reel showing, this is your first teaser of zombies, and it's like a cartoon looking zombie, and the dude looks like he's wearing like a gymnastics uniform or a basketball uniform or something. But it's like it looks like a cartoon zombie, so I don't think that it's
Oh,
set in the future.
it's got like the basketball like headband.
Yeah.
Oh, I see that.
So I don't know if this zombies is going to be completely separate. Like, oh, and that's another thing that they said in the live stream. It's going to be a completely different universe set away from Infinite Warfare.
Okay.
So that really does open up a lot of possibilities on what that could mean. Does it mean that we're going back in time? Does it mean that we're going to be in the present? I don't know.
Yeah.
My question to you would be, what would you want in a Infinite Warfare, or not Infinite Warfare, but an Infinity Ward zombies, because they've never done zombies before.
This is my biggest concern. I want them to keep it like relatively simple.
Right.
Um,
I thought Advanced Warfare Zombies was way too complicated, by the way.
okay, and there you go. Okay.
Complicated for the point of they tried to make something great and it could have been great, but they tried to put too much into it at the same time to make it overly complicated when it didn't need to be that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's exactly how I feel. So, like, obviously, Treyarch Zombies is the grand pedestal, and I don't think anything's ever going to beat that. But
Which is the
that's
holy grail of zombies.
but that's also from like one of the biggest zombies fanboys ever. So that's whatever. Okay, so Treyarch Zombies, they've had 4 games to perfect really complicated zombies maps, right? Dreisendrach, I think, is a perfect example. That map is so complicated yet still so basic, because it's a huge map. You've got all these different bows. You've got all this stuff going on. There's Easter egg and giant keeper boss fights, and it's crazy in-depth map. But you can be a very basic zombies player, still go into it, have a great time, because it's really easy to turn the power on. It's really easy to turn Pack-a-Punch on, and just hit the box and just do your thing.
Easy to get the bow, too.
Exactly. Easy to even get the bow. If you want to go, try to go a little bit harder, you can upgrade it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They've had 4 years to work on that. And I don't really know what they were going for with Zetsubo. Like some people,
Right.
like I don't want to hate on them. Like, I don't personally love the map, but I'm not saying like maybe they made a mistake. Like maybe they just wanted to make a map like that, and that's fine to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even them though, I feel like they could have done a little bit better jobs with some of the transportation around that map with Zetsubo, because it's just very like some areas are really hard to it's just a big map, and some areas are really far away from each other. So to me, if you're Treyarch, when you're amazing at making these zombie maps, and even now after 4 years you're not perfect, I don't want to see a development team that's never done zombies before try to match a Dreisendrach or a Shadows of Evil or a Zetsubo, just something, an Origins, like just something so expansive, because there's so many mistakes they can make, right? And
Right.
when you're inexperienced, it's a lot easier to make mistakes. Whereas I was talking to one of the guys at Treyarch, and he's talking about like one of the big things with this new zombies maps is making sure that making the map big but still easy to navigate, because when a map's too big, like Transit, it just becomes really convoluted and people kind of don't enjoy that. So that's my biggest concern, is that they're going to try to make it too crazy.
Yeah. I would like a more simplistic start, at least. I mean, just to see what they're working with, kind of like getting a feel for their zombies experience.
Yeah.
And then maybe DLC 3, they could kind of blow it wide open, then DLC 4, and leave us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be great.
Kind of like what they did with Black Ops 2 Zombies. They left us on a major cliffhanger. Like, they were playing with dolls, Sam was there, and it's like, what? Like, what? That now we have to wait 3 years? I remember that was the news that came out after that. Now we have to wait 3 years. Like, holy crap, people were mad. But I wouldn't even be mad to be left on a cliffhanger at this point. I think it would just build onto the story, and people would create lore over the course of 3 years, and what could be happening.
That's what Zombies is all about, is the lore and the fan-made lore. So
right, keep it super simple at first, maybe kind of dip your toes into something a little more extravagant in DLC 2, and then just go in full plunge for DLC 3 and 4. That could be cool for story portion.
I like that idea. Okay, so we were just talking about Advanced Warfare, though. What did you think of that? I'm curious to see like your side of it.
For the zombie portion?
Yeah, Exozombies.
I thought, okay, so like when we first started off, I thought it was pretty cool. Like just being able to do the Easter egg, it was fun. I was able to do it. I thought that was fun. And the whole like Neversoft combination with that zombies map was really cool. Like I liked how, oh wow, I was thinking of Ghosts Extinction just now. Wow.
Yeah.
With the Neversoft. But anyway, going back to Advanced Warfare, I thought it was pretty cool. Like doing the Easter egg, and it wasn't too hard, but it wasn't too simple, and everybody was able to work together. That was fun. But then when they released the first DLC, I kind of lost all the fun factor for it.
Okay.
If that is like understandable, I guess you would say. Like I still enjoyed it, but I didn't feel like I wanted to do the Easter egg.
So was this the ship map?
That I think that's also Extinction that we're thinking of, because
there was a ship map for Exozombies.
Oh my gosh, Exozombies is like such a blur to me because I didn't really enjoy it that much. Like,
yeah, there was
the Burger Town map made me hate it. I'll just say that.
Dude, I think that's the worst Zombies map ever.
I will agree with you.
I played it like a couple weeks ago. I played every single Exozombies map in the stream. And, I was like, the first one, like, okay, this is whatever, but it's really basic.
Yeah.
3 and 4, I actually enjoyed. Like, I didn't go into it expecting I would like it. And I found myself like, man, this is actually fun. Like, let's see how far we can get and stuff. But by round 10 of Burger Town, I was like, no, I'm out. I'm not doing it. It is so bad.
Which DLC was the ship one?
That was the third.
Okay, that's the one that also made me not like it because of the objectives.
That's the problem. And that was the problem with Burger Town as well. These crazy objectives. Like, you had guys that were shooting you in carrier. Yeah. The bomb. Like, I don't care about this bomb going off. Burger Town did an even worse job because there was survivors. And you had to, like, navigate
them.
through these, like, tiny tunnels. And you're just getting, like, wrecked by zombies. And he's getting wrecked by zombies. And if you don't do it, it basically makes it so you can't buy anything around the map for like 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I didn't like that.
You just have to wait. It's not like it hurts you because you can just keep running and your exosuit works, but you just have to wait for it to be over.
Well, here's another terrible, terrible design choice. They made it to where certain parts of the map would gas out during this.
Exactly.
And it's like when you run a certain train of zombies, and I think every zombie player can relate, because there's always that one spot that you train zombies to build points or just say, all right, I need to take a breather. I can't run to this certain part of the map for now. When that is taken away, that is just adding artificial difficulty, because you know that you can outrun a zombie, but when you're forced to be placed in the sewers at an unopportune time, it's like, okay, I'm going to die because the map told me I can't go here for this specific round. Like, I hated that the most, and that's why I disliked that Zombies, because of the Burger Town map.
Very inorganic.
Yeah, it was,
to say the least.
It was like, I know I can beat these zombies. I know I can outrun them, but, oh, nope, here's the gas that's going to kill me as soon as I'm here. It didn't make any sense. Then you had to cleanse yourself from it. Right. That was another thing, too. You had them just in the worst places in the map. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought, like you said, the first map was a little too basic, but they tried to add that artificial difficulty, and that's really what made me get turned off from those maps.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the biggest flaws you can do with zombies is make it so that a feature of the map kills you versus a zombie or a boss enemy.
Right.
That to me is one of the most frustrating things. When I'm playing Die Rise and I fall off the map and it ends my game, you know, there's like a jump you have to make, and if you don't land on the mattresses, you down.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
You know, you die from that. They don't even have PhD on that map. Like that to me is just over my head why that didn't work.
Now that I think about it, why didn't they?
A map that's like all vertical, a perk that makes it so you don't take fall damage. It just seems like, you know,
that's artificial difficulty right there.
That is artificial difficulty.
That's right, crazy. I never even thought about that. You just brought it up. I'm sure that the conversation came across before, but why?
You know, I don't even need the side of PhD that makes it so I don't take explosive damage. Just give us a perk that makes it so you don't take fall damage.
Maybe that's what Who's Who was for.
I don't know, man.
So you just, when you go down, you can revive yourself.
Well, that's true. But that's
stupid.
No, Who's Who was brutal because when you down, now you're this guy with no weapon and nothing, and if it spawns you in an inopportune location and the zombies get you, your game's over. Like even if you have quick revive of your other guy, your game is completely over if you don't manage to pick yourself up.
Yeah, that's true. That's not even worth it then.
Yeah, no, there was no point in that perk. Yeah, it's solo anyways. It was okay multiplayer. Yeah, Die Rise is one of my least favorite maps. I think
say. My favorite map was Buried.
Really?
Yeah, that was my favorite zombies map.
I really hated Buried when it first came out, but it has grown on me so much because, like, I'm so into zombies. I wanted something challenging, and I realized that that's not really, to me, it wasn't a map that's supposed to be challenging. It's more of supposed to be a fun map.
Yeah, that's how I got. Like, that's the same feeling I got.
Yeah, it's a really cool map.
That paralyzer was so cool.
Yeah.
Like, just being able to float up over things and get to places you weren't supposed to be. Like,
yeah.
You know, just completely avoiding opening barriers. Yep. I loved that feature. Plus that haunted house with all the witches. That was
the maze. The maze was cool.
Yeah, I love the maze.
Leroy, the big giant dude.
Yeah, Leroy Giant. Yeah, no, I thought it was great. Like the whole candy feature. You give him candy and he would like ram open doors and like you'd get perks and stuff. And I thought that was awesome to me.
Yeah, Vulturade was even a great perk on that map.
Yeah, Vulturade was fun.
That's probably, I would say right now, of perks that we've seen in other maps, like that's probably the one that has been most requested. People want to see coming back. Is probably Vulturade.
For sure.
Other than PhD, obviously, because that's just like, we need PhD. But
I mean, another thing that I've been seeing a lot of people talk about is the whole custom zombies. Obviously, that's a huge factor in World at War on the PC. And they've been talking about releasing the alpha and the betas coming, you know, later on. But it's like, when are they going to even do that? I mean,
think probably after DLC 4.
Really?
That would be my guess because, like, just from their standpoint, I don't think you would want to release all these tools while they're still dropping DLC.
Yeah, that's true. It'd take away from the limelight.
Yeah, it would take away...
their thunder.
Exactly, because right now it's like, this is all you have to play for Black Ops 3. So if you kind of, you know, if you added new features in, like right now, if they drop that beta in, or that, whatever, the alpha or whatever, and people were making new zombies maps, like people wouldn't be as interested in DLC 3 trailer.
I know I wouldn't, just saying.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'd be like playing all these crazy Black Ops 3 maps with like 2 bows in my hands and, you know, just like... wrecking everything. I don't know, but
I almost don't want to say it, but I need to. I love the devs at Treyarch, but there are a lot of really creative custom zombie map makers out there, and I've played some maps, for example, Project Viking, that are just completely amazing, and they blow anything that Treyarch has done out of the water. I mean, sure, there might be bugs and stuff, but it's like absolutely crazy to see some of the things that these custom zombie map makers can do on a game that's was made back, what, 2008, 2007 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
the thing.
wow.
Is it's so old. Have you ever played Leviathan, the
I
underwater
have
map?
not, but I've watched
Oh
many
my god,
videos.
I think
That's
that's still the
crazy.
one that has blown my mind the most. It's so well done.
I just love
Obviously, they
playing
took
maps,
yeah,
period.
yeah. Me, personally, I'm more of a mod fan. So like, you already have the map, and you just add new things in.
Oh,
But
same here.
there's been some guys like just doing like new Easter eggs to maps. Like there was one for 5, and it was like this. Yeah, there's like a Panzer boss fight at the end, and all this different stuff. To me, like that is so much fun to take a map and then new spin on it, or different weapons. Like the ray gun Mark III someone did, like a death machine ray gun, just ridiculous kinds of mods. That is what I'm excited for.
I think it's
On
even fun to go back and play a map like 5, for example, or even do like Shinonuma and see like COD 4 weapons or Black Ops 3 weapons. That's cool to me.
Yeah, that is a lot of fun.
I,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
good.
one of the
What?
biggest surprises is just like hopping into a custom map, not knowing what to expect, and then seeing the cool Pack-a-Punch camo. Like that is always my goal when I play. Like seeing
Yeah.
what kind of color Pack-a-Punch and just seeing how they do it and the effects and the elements that they can add now is awesome.
Do you think like modding is gonna have a big effect on multiplayer maps for Black Ops 3?
I think that it can if they allow it.
Okay.
Um, we've seen a lot of stuff even over the past year with people that have been able to add stuff to the Black Ops 3 multiplayer, even in just private matches where it's like weapons from previous Call of Duty games like the MP7. We've seen like snipers that were supposed to originally be in Black Ops 3 but haven't been added. They've kind of taken the models that were found in the code for the beta and they've made them a reality in the game. And I think that with a game that has so much potential and the ability to have so much content, even after the game is done and after the DLC is released, I think that they should add like a community playlist. Not necessarily for like
Oh.
uh modded lobbies for like, oh, we're gonna get 1,000 XP per game. But off of the leaderboards, just straight up custom playlists where people can create maps, put it in there, and then it's like you're always playing a new map, or you download a map to play with friends. Kind of like custom zombies, but where there's an actual goal to it, you know?
Dude, that is a great idea. I like that community idea.
Well, I even thought about it too. Like originally, when the black market was announced and how there was going to be like the crypto key thing, I thought it would be great to have a community black market where you could put up paint jobs and people could buy paint jobs and use crypto keys for those paint jobs. And those keys would go directly to the creator where they could use them then on other people's paint jobs, or people could use them on the black market for supply drops and stuff. But you'd have to earn those crypto keys to then purchase a really nice paint job, or even see a nice character skin, or even at this point, a custom map. I think that would work on console as well. It could work kind of like the whole Forza skin thing, where you buy like Forza skins for your cars and you can drive them around with the credits, and then the credits are awarded to the player. That would just blow the multiplayer wide open. It would bring so many possibilities and so much more creativity, and I would really like to see something like that. But then again, that kind of brings in the whole black market aspect where people are then just saying, hey, I'm going to put this up there for 5 million credits or whatever, and I'm going to have my friend just give them to me. And then there's like a really bad balance in there. And I think that there's a whole nother copyright strike thing going around, because it's like, or copyright infringement, not copyright strike. I got the YouTube mentality, but the copyright infringement, because there are people that make really unique, like Walking Dead emblems and Spider-Man emblems and just crazy things that we see. I don't know how they would be able to do that.
Right.
But it would be awesome to have something like that, and it would definitely
'Cause
expand
if it's
everything.
virtual currency, is that really like, I don't know if that would really be like an issue.
Well, I mean, for example, if they just said no to the crypto key or no to the COD point thing, and they just made it specifically crypto keys to where it was only crypto keys that you earned in game,
Oh,
not
right.
not necessarily like the ones that you would earn from the rare supply drops, only keys earned in game. I
Right.
think that they should make a separate portion of that too, because it kind of mixes and melts together from the keys that you earn from a rare supply drop and the keys that you earn in game, if there was like a separate key list, then it might work.
Yeah.
But as it sits right now, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a cool idea, I think.
That is a cool idea. The problem is we're so like towards the maturity of this game right now, right? It's like
Right.
it's like almost too late, I feel like. I don't know though. I feel like Black Ops 3 is going to have a lot of longevity just because of mods.
No, for sure.
I mean,
And
Black Ops 1 and Black Ops and World at War, like you said with the zombies, like, you know, if those are still things, like Black Ops 3 could go on forever.
And another thing that I was just thinking of when you brought up the mods was we just had the announcement of Skyrim remaster, and I think that's awesome because I never,
Really?
yeah, they just announced that they're going to remaster it and they're bringing mod support. So just like they're doing with Fallout 4, on console you'll be able to download mods that are made on the PC.
That is cool.
So if they were to do something like that for Black Ops 3, just blow it wide open, maybe they would have Treyarch pick like developer picked maps where it's like a community made the map. They would then add it to the console where you can download the map for free. Or if the developer or the custom map creator said, no, you know, I'll let you do it, but for $1.99, then like maybe they would split the revenue. Who knows? Let's just say it's free for now.
That is a great idea, man.
But it would be cool.
Great idea, because then the biggest problem I've always had, and I feel like the community has had with like custom maps, is that as a viewer you can't relate to that map. You know, it's not like watching someone play Der Eisendrache and being like, oh, now I want to go play Der Eisendrache, or oh
Right.
yeah, like I can relate to that, because it's this random map that someone's created that very few people have played.
Exactly.
But if someone can watch a YouTuber go play that map and then say, oh, that's awesome, they go download it on their console,
Then
that
they'll be able
is
to play it.
some longevity, and that helps everyone, I really feel like.
And I'm just thinking, for example, on the Xbox, the whole backwards compatibility, that's just like an emulator. So what's stopping, you know, where's the disconnect between PC transferring the files to the console and being able to play that map on the console? Like, I think it comes down to what Treyarch allows to happen. Just like how Bethesda and Fallout 4 and, you know, Skyrim and all that, they're going to have the mod support too. I feel like they should bring mod support to consoles, not only for custom maps like we just discussed and how viewers aren't able to actually play some of the maps that are provided, but that would bring a whole new engagement to you know, people that play these custom maps, because then they'll be able to search them up online and be like, oh, you know, I'll try this one out, go download it on the console, play it, maybe even upload their point of view, and it would just be awesome on the content side of things for the game and the content side of things on YouTube. I think it'd be great.
Damn, that's a great. I love that idea. That's like one of the best ideas I've ever heard, dude. That's phenomenal.
It's awesome. I've been
Oh my
thinking
God.
about this for a long time. I think this is the first time I've actually put it on YouTube. I haven't put it on my channel either.
Man,
Exclusive for you, man. Just for you.
exclusive for me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But it really isn't a bad idea. I mean,
Not at all.
I'm sure that there are some like legalities behind it, but
Definitely.
if they worked it out, that'd be cool.
Definitely. But there's got to be something they can do.
Totally. There has to be.
There's so much like red tape with that stuff, you know. 'cause
I know.
It's like it's got to go through Activision and the developer, and it's a lot.
I literally just got done making a video the other day talking about how, as players of Call of Duty, we always ask for more. We want more
Yeah.
content. We want more this, more that. And it's so weird to think that even if I'm just making a video where I make up ideas like I just talked about with the mods, people always say that I'm complaining that there isn't enough. It's like, I'm not complaining. I'm just thinking of ideas to make it better or make it more engaging or bring more content for free.
Yeah, you're just reaching
Right.
for more.
In a world that's run by microtransactions right now, I feel like it's definitely okay to bring up awesome ideas for what could be potentially free, you know?
Yeah. Or what about this? What if you had to pay like $5 to $10 and you would get access to as many maps as you want? Like you get the mod DLC, and then you could have unlimited mods.
Oh, I'd pay.
Whatever are
I would do
created.
it.
That'd be fair, because then
I
that
think it
would
would be.
that would incentivize Treyarch or Activision to actually support that and run that, right? You give, because that's the thing, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, we want this free. Well, like a good example was with Xbox 360 versus PlayStation 3. People were paying for Xbox 360 and online for live, so that got more support, and then that got, that it ultimately became the better experience because people were paying for it.
Right.
Right. Whereas with PlayStation, it was a free service, but because it was a free service, you didn't get DLC early, things like that.
Yeah.
So I think if it was there was some sort of financial incentive, that might move things along.
Well, I mean, here's like a good example. Let's say you did pay the $5 just to have the custom map service.
Yeah.
People might be wondering, why do I have to pay $5 when I bought a season pass? That $5 could be like, okay, we need to start up new servers for this service, or we need to have people that are constantly adding, and we need to pay people that are directly monitoring these things. And sure, it's going to be a large sum of money right up front because people are going to pay $5, just like a season pass. You're paying for those map packs. But that's a good example because, like you were saying, it's not always free. You have actual humans who are creating content. And even if it did end up with like a revenue split, like we talked about before, where it's like people are making custom maps, and that's another problem there. But I think it would still be cool for at least people that can't afford a gaming PC or something. If you have a console, pay $5 and get custom maps like PC players. That'd be cool.
That would be sick. Yeah, because PC, I don't think you could even do that.
No.
Because people would just be making, it's just too easy to modify the game files, right?
Right. Oh, for sure.
But on console, that's something you could easily run. And I mean, more people are on console anyways.
I just want an FOV slider on console.
Ooh.
I'm gonna throw you under the bus, Infinity Ward. Like, put an FOV slider. Like, come on. That's probably not that hard to add.
I was gonna say, well, why is it so easy on PC?
Right.
What's the difference? They're all computers in some sense.
I find it so funny that people talk about how they hated the lean feature, but that's always been on PC, where you could lean in the multiplayer.
Can you lean in like Ghosts? Maybe was it?
You could lean in Ghosts on the console.
Okay.
But it's like COD 4, for example, in World at War. There was an actual lean button.
Yeah.
It's you can't do that now, and I think that's another big thing too. Like, you can't really do that now. But I would like it. I think I like the lean feature, and it was shown in Infinite Warfare, so it's back.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, FOV sliders, what I want on console at least.
That's a big thing.
People are like, "What's FOV slider?"
Yeah, I guess you should probably say that.
That's when like if you watch a PC custom zombies, sometimes custom zombie maps don't allow it, but a lot of the time you can set it up through the console command. But FOV slider allows you to see more of your character. Like, you'll see more of the gun, more of his arms or whatever, more his or her arms. But it also allows you to get a more, more field of view. That's what FOV means. So you get to see more on your screen at one given time, which is cool.
So I think the default is it 80 degrees?
I think so.
So your character can see, like, if a circle's 360 degrees, it can see 80 degrees of that. So like what's kind of in front of you. And I think you can usually put it up to like 100.
Right, 100. I think Black Ops 3 even goes to 120.
Yeah, there you go. So that's like way bigger. So you could see a lot of stuff over the corner of your eye better. And
it almost makes it like a fisheye.
Yeah.
I normally like run it at 90 though. That's what I do.
120 is too much. But there's problems, and at least in zombies, it's really hard to get used to it because the zombies appear further away for some reason. So like they'll hit you and you'll be like, what? Like, that zombie was like 5 feet away from me, just due to that. So it's weird in zombies. Like I've bumped it up to as far as 90, but anything more than that, I do not like it. It's also cool just being able to see more of the hand, and like, if like with special weapons like wonder weapons, it's kind of cool to see like more of that and how they're holding it and all that.
Yeah, I always liked it too, because if you had like a really nice camouflage or something on your weapon, you could go to reload and get like nice screenshots and stuff.
Yeah.
That was just, I mean, it's kind of like such a stupid small thing, but I like that. It just makes like customizing the weapon even more unique because you can see more of it.
Yeah, definitely. That's another thing on like the whole like DLCs or like mods and stuff is that like modding camos. That was a big
Yeah.
thing on the subreddit for zombies, is people were submitting quite a while ago just all these different ideas for camos on their guns. That would be sick.
I actually have a folder which I will send you after this,
Ooh.
and it has for Call of Duty Ghosts. And I started doing this in Black Ops 2 actually. And this is before we had DLC camouflage. So I want to feel like I'm to blame for DLC camo. As I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm up on my high horse, but I feel like they took my ideas. I'm kind of sad. I feel sad because back with Black Ops 2 and Ghosts, I started to make like custom camos, and I still have the files on my computer where I made a camo called Benjamin's, and it was $100 bills all over the gun. And I even attached a challenge to it, and I said, you get this camo once you get 100 payback headshots, because in Black Ops 2, when you got a payback, the dollar bills would fly around.
That is so cool.
And I was like, that's a great idea. Or what was that? MW2, the dollar bills would fly around.
It's definitely Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2, you get the payback and the dollar bills would fly around. And then I started to think like, that would be so cool to have that challenge in the game. The dollar bills would fly around, but you have to do headshots. There have to be something hard about it,
Yeah, that'd have to be a real, like, I hate to say like prestigious, but like a real
prestigious,
a very prestigious camo, like like a dark matter.
Right, and then
gold.
I did another camo that looked like Cyborg. I called it Circuits, and you'd have to get like 100 prone kills after somebody was EMP'd or something like that.
Yeah.
So there was like a bunch of challenges behind these camos, and I have them on my computer still. And it's like, I really, really wish that this would have gone further, and then boom, there's micro DLC. And then they made the Black Ops 2 micro DLC where it was like actual dollar bills or $100 bills on the weapon. I'm like, I had to have some sort of say in this. Like, it's crazy to see. And then I made an extinction camo.
They had those personalization packs.
Yeah.
Right.
And I made an extinction DLC camo for the Maverick DLC gun that came out for Ghosts, and that looked really nice. And I made an M&M's one, and I made like a whole bunch of different ones.
Wow, that's cool. That is, yeah.
But I don't know. I like to feel like I was part of the reason that we got those.
It was all you.
I'm to blame for micro DLC.
It's the black market is all your fault.
Dang it!
Blame
I should have known. Dang, why did I do that?
Dang, that's too sad.
But no, I'll have to show you. Those are really cool.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Well, should we wrap it up there?
Sure.
All right, we're an hour in, so
that was awesome.
Yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on. Some nice old Call of Duty talk. There's nothing better.
Little COD talk.
Little COD talk, yeah. Well, all right, before we end, what's your favorite Call of Duty?
My favorite COD of all time is World at War.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I respect it.
No Call of Duty will ever beat that.
Was that your first?
It was actually my first Call of Duty that I got to 10th Prestige. And that was the game that actually created PrestigeIsKey.
You realized that prestiging is the key to success.
That was just like, I did that, then I went back to COD 4. But World at War is my favorite just because at the time I started playing that game, I was really big into history, and that was what I was learning about in school. And there was just so much like that was linking to that game that we learned about in school, and I just loved it.
Dang.
That's what made me love that game and respect that game even more. Even in the campaign, I loved the campaign.
Oh my god, it's my favorite campaign, man. I streamed it like a couple weeks ago. It still gives me chills, like some of those character quotes from Reznov and
right.
Oh my god, man.
And I'll never forget the problem that was the Heart of the Reich on Veteran with all the grenade spam and give it.
I did it last summer, and it took me 2 hours.
I remember we were talking about this on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was with you, but yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Don't ever do that on Veteran, guys. It's hard.
I think it's the biggest achievement I've ever gotten in video games.
That was also the first game that I ever got 1,000 out of 1,000 achievement score.
Nice. Yeah, on the PlayStation they do platinum, they call it.
Platinums. I wish I would have done it on the PS3.
Yeah, no, I remember when I was like when that game was actually around, I wanted to get every achievement, and I couldn't do Veteran. And then last summer came around, and I had the time, and I was like, you know what? it's on. So like every day on Twitch, I just streamed it, and I remember Heart of the Right. Like usually in a stream, I get like a couple missions done. Heart of the Right came around. I was like, guys, this is going to be a single mission. I'm sorry, but this is gonna take some time. And just, oh my god, it's like
that.
I just remember there's like one part where you have to blow up the cannons, and you don't get a checkpoint for like just a really long time. You have to blow up 2 cannons and then like advance really far till you get a call from Reznov, and like I would do it, and it was like I just like getting the system of like, all right, dude, like shoot that guy, throw a grenade there, do this, sprint over, throw smoke, like set the timer, run back, dive. Like it was like a system, just building it, and oh my
the
goodness.
Enemies kept infinitely respawning until you yourself pushed up. That was the biggest problem with that one.
That was ridiculous, and unlucky grenades and unlucky spawns, and just it was awful.
But that's Even though it was hard, that was my favorite game.
I might agree with you. I think overall, if you consider multiplayer, campaign, and third game mode, I think World at War is my favorite.
For sure. Mine too.
But Black Ops 2 multiplayer to me is still my favorite multiplayer. And might be my favorite zombies, but that's a stretch.
All right. I will say this. If we're going to have two kind of like that, for all three, the triple threat of campaign, multiplayer, and the third game mode, World at War is my absolute favorite. But second pick, multiplayer only, and I'm like I said earlier, I'm gonna get hated on it. Advanced Warfare.
Wow.
As weird as that sounds, that is my favorite multiplayer.
Dang, I respect it. That's crazy, but
I don't know why. I mean, like I said, it reflected directly in my content. I just really enjoyed it, and I always get accused of like the darndest things when it comes to that, but I swear on my life that is my favorite multiplayer that I've ever played.
That's fair enough, weird. Man. Yeah.
That's weird to say as a Call of Duty fan that's been there from the beginning. There was just so much change that, like I said, they were so ballsy in doing it at the time that they did it. That made me respect it even more, and I just really enjoyed. I got all the way to Grandmaster Prestige, and then I started going all the way to Grandmaster Prestige again on the PS4.
Oh my goodness!
So it's like I played the heck out of that game. But the game to this day that I have the most multiplayer hours logged is MW2. I have like 64 days.
Modern Warfare 2, man, that was the game that was, it was the best and the worst in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree with that.
Like I hate that. I feel everyone looks back on it like it was the best multiplayer, because like, yes, when you were doing well.
Yeah.
But my problem with that game is it just was so broken for so long. Like the Javelin glitch and the care package glitch.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously.
I loved the Javelin glitch.
The noob tube one-man army.
Oh.
Commando lunging. Like just, I could go on and on and on.
It's so funny because we look back at this stuff and how like crazy it was, how small it was, and how much it affected the game. And we look at glitches now and they only last like less than 2 days and they're patched.
Yeah.
It's like, why did they never do anything about those major things?
5 months. It didn't get patched till like March or February.
Right. And even looking back on One Man Army, yes, it is something that was crucial to that game that is always going to be forever remembered about that game. But is it something that should have been patched? Absolutely. And I don't understand why it never was. Like, that was one of the easiest things that they probably could have done for patch-wise, unless there was like way more behind it. I just don't know.
Maybe just like make it so that you didn't get like equipment back or something.
Right, like make it so your lethals aren't replenished. Kind of like how Scavenger was.
Yeah.
You know? But,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, like that was insanity.
Yeah. But when you got that chopper gunner and you're going for your nuke.
Oh, then everything was different. Then it's like I want to make sure that I have that danger close perk on.
Yeah.
So those explosive radius is just like crazy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that AC-130.
I still remember it to this day. Getting that spinning gold cross for 1,000 AC-130 kills.
There you go.
Is that what it was? Spinning gold cross for that, or was that chopper gunner? I think that was
chopper gunner.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up now. Oh yeah, and for anybody that wondered about the spinning gold or the spinning skull emblem, remember how everybody wanted that? Nobody knew how to get it. I asked Robert Bowling when I went on the trip to see Modern Warfare 3 for the first time when I was like nobody, and I made a video about this, but nobody saw it. The real answer on how to get that spinning skull emblem was indeed 1,000 headshots with the AK-47.
Really?
That was how you had to do it, but it was
Spin-
glitched and they never fixed it. But the funny part was they used that emblem as a modder finder. So people that actually had it in game, they had their accounts modified to get it, obviously. So people that had it, when developers ran into them in the game, they would use that to say, "Oh, we know that you can't get that emblem. You're banned."
I was just about to tell you. It's a funny story because I actually have that. I have that emblem.
Yeah. So it's funny because like if anybody tells you they got it legit, it's not true.
Really? That's actually a very interesting fact.
I mean, I don't have any problem with people that do that. I really don't. Because it's happened to me in so many other games.
Yeah,
like
I modded my
COD
game
4 or whatever, but
it must have been like a year after, like it was during Black Ops 1 was out, and I just wanted to get like all my attachments on guns or something, so I modded it.
Right.
And I bumped myself up to 9th prestige so that it wouldn't look like I was 10th prestige and like obviously hacked. So I'm 9th prestige on Modern Warfare 2. I think I got like 4 prestiges legit, and then but I have everything unlocked.
Yeah.
So
That was the game that was just kind of like a free for all, literally, for like mods and stuff, because that was also the game that Infinity Ward was literally falling apart as a company. Because that's when, you know, Vince Zampella left and all them, and they went to form Respawn and make Titanfall and whatever. But that's kind of when all of that was happening, and that's kind of what makes me say that's probably why things went unnoticed for so long.
That's a good point. I know it's really easy to forget about that, like when you're a player of the game,
right?
That, like, these are real people. And when I went to Treyarch for my first time, it made me realize, like, I always have just looked at Call of Duty as this thing that just gets made regardless. But when you go there, you get such a appreciation for what they do that, like, wow, these are just people, you know, and they've got like their different departments for like weapons and you know, storyline and zombies and all this stuff, and they just make this thing happen.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
It doesn't just materialize. It's a lot of people that, you know, put their blood, sweat, and tears into this thing.
Oh man, they're amazing.
Just thinking about the downsize at Infinity Ward at that time, like, that's pretty sad to think about in reality. You know, from like you're saying, from the player point of view, you don't really think about that stuff. And this was stuff that was talked about, but really nobody covered it because it's such a sad subject. But that is probably what happened to Modern Warfare 2 and why it was just left unnoticed for the longest time.
Yeah.
But I mean, even so, now looking back, it's like some of those things that were broken to beyond belief and beyond recognition, those are things that we think about now and think, wow, that was such an amazing broken thing. I love that game. Like the commando lunge, they make fun of that all the time. That thing was ridiculous.
Yeah, there's something great about noob tubing, like sending a noob tube out and seeing like a four kills in a row there, like the 4 in the feed, or you know, like multi-kill, the SmithPlays, like that was a good feeling.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean,
it's terrible.
Some of the most broken things are some of the most memorable. Like, oh, you were a big World at War player. Remember when you could deploy the bipod anywhere?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, back in the day when World at War first came out, you could deploy the bipod anywhere you want. So if you laid prone, you can deploy it. If you wanted to deploy it in a windowsill, which you still can, you could. But when you proned, you could deploy it anywhere you want. And there were so many glitches that allowed you to like get out of the map or get up on top of a tree or go somewhere where you weren't supposed to go because it would cause a lot of elevator glitches.
Yeah, I was gonna say, World at War had so many of that. I thought you were gonna say Jug MP40, like you just.
No, that's just a memory that's forever gonna be written on David Vonderhaar's tombstone when he goes away finally. But I mean, no, there was just so many little things, and even like the bayonet glitches where you could like stab an enemy and it would launch you up a tree and launch you outside the map, or
that bayonet was crazy.
putting the tank inside of another tank so when it respawns, they would float up into the sky.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
Like if you blew up one tank and you took another tank to that location, when they would respawn in each other, it would float into the sky and the tanks would be on top of the map. It's
That
fun.
is awesome.
Oh, and if you were in the tank, you would float up with it. So there you go.
That is incredible.
That still exists to this day, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
Unless they patched it, which it's highly likely they did. But I remember I did it not too long ago where you could just, oh, yeah, I remember. You have to go and clear all of your updates, play offline, and you can do it. But it's a lot of fun.
I think for me, the best glitches were the zombie glitches with the barriers. Do you remember those?
Oh, crouching under the grenades on Nocturne Totem.
Yes, you run and jump and crouch, and the zombies it would form an invisible barrier between you and the zombies, and you could just get to round 100 if you wanted to.
Yeah, you always had to get the flamethrower though, so you never ran out of ammo.
Yeah, or you could do, but if you were at the grenade spot, you could still throw grenades.
Yeah,
that was risky because you'd risk like it bouncing back and killing you.
Man, I just thinking about this makes me so happy that somebody else can share these same memories.
Maybe I'll have to do that as a stream. Just like delete all my game files and just be like glitching on World at War or something crazy.
Go back and do that glitch, and people would be like, "How you do that?" Oh, remember the one on the bottom floor where you could jump in the broken pillar?
Yeah, oh my god, dude, there was multiple of them. There was the pile right outside to the left of the grenade room. There was one there. Right beside the cabinet, there was one. There was one in the mystery box room. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, you could jump on the file cabinet. Oh, there was one where you could jump from the stairs onto the ledge across from it.
You can still do that, but it doesn't. Yeah, but you used to be like, because you could like walk all the way across so the zombies couldn't get you. You could still do it, but like the zombies can get you.
I just want to say this, and I don't want to hijack your podcast or anything, but for those of you that are still listening to this point, and you are watching this on YouTube, leave a comment down below letting us know what your favorite glitch spot was back in the day on zombies before the glitches were patched. I think that would be good.
I'd like to see it. I think the grenade spot was just so classic.
It was classic. That was the best one.
Yeah.
It was so easy too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I missed that. Dang, dude.
You miss it until you realize it really messed up the leaderboards.
Oh my god, it was so ridiculous. Yeah, like, because that was back in the day where if you made it to 20 in zombies, you were a god.
Do you remember, and I'm going to say it both ways to not make people mad, but Dericer, where you could just go into the back of the teleport and then people or the zombies would stop spawning and the rounds would just continually go on.
Oh, yeah.
Like it would end and then it would go, and then it would end and then it would go. And I was sitting there like, man, people really abused the heck out of that.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate.
Oh, gosh. This brings me back to the day.
This is completely not even World at War. And this, you could still do this glitch to this day. I think it it's just so cool to me because I loved COD 4. But in Modern Warfare 2 on Spec Ops, there's a sniper mission called Hidden.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Jump on the cars and you can get out of the map. And the thing about Hidden is this map is a Call of Duty 4 mission in reverse.
Right.
And when you jump out of the map, you go to the mission right after the mission that you're in, where you have to like shoot this guy, like, you know, like the big, like with the big Barrett 50 cal, and you shoot him and you gotta like calibrate for the wind and stuff.
Yeah,
you like can go and run through this like half crafted map that they made, and for some reason is in this mission, and you just run forever, and it's like this ghost town that you have played in COD 4, but it's just like dead. It's so cool to me.
I'm trying to think what mission. I think it was literally like all guild up.
Yeah, it was all guild up.
Yeah, you take that and you could jump over the cargo, and it was like an HD version of it, I remember. Yeah, at the time, it was like, wow, it looks so good. They're just running around. There's nothing going on. But all of that had actual playable area. So I wonder if there was meant to be more for that. Or if maybe they meant to turn that into something else, or maybe they were just, you know, a developer was just playing around like, wow, I really missed this map, and they just, because there was like everything, even inside the buildings were detailed.
Yeah. Well, the thing is you play that map, like where you go through, that's the mission, one shot, one kill.
Right. That's it.
Right. So you're playing that, like you're going through that map basically. And I think that's why it was so detailed, right?
Mm-hmm.
but then you can get to areas where you weren't able to get to.
Yeah, I remember. I was just thinking about this the other day, and I was saying when the Modern Warfare Remaster comes out, I'm gonna try to get over there.
Because it's the mission where he says like 50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town because you're going through like all the radiation area.
Yeah.
I am excited for the COD 4 remaster.
I am too. Even though it's only 10 multiplayer maps.
That's okay.
It'll still be fun.
It'll still be fun. All right. I think we should end it here. I said let's end it like 20 minutes ago. We just keep going on. But that's what's good about the podcast. Is
we got caught into the nostalgia.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, dude. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think subscriber-wise, I think you're the biggest person we've ever had on the podcast.
Hey, we both just broke 1 million not too long ago.
I know, man. Congratulations.
Congratulations to you, Sa.
Big thanks. 2 million to come, hopefully.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, to the chat or stream or whoever's still here, you guys can go check out PrestigeIsKey. Link in in my description. Link down in the description is what I'm trying to say. And you know what? I did not even link your channel right, so I am a scrub, but I'll fix that.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it like URL PrestigeIsKey?
Yep.
Okay. Boom. Fixed. Just like that. All right, there you guys go. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with episode 99 next week.
The big 99.
Big things, big things. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you later.